Hey guys, this is Sai, and I'd like to share today my process on how I create my render. Before I start, I like to recommend this written tutorial by Xldkx. It's actually where I started learning how to use Blender in general. So if in case that I may have missed something, hopefully not, during the video, you could backtrack it here. Okay, so before I go ahead with the first step, I like to recommend that you create folders assigned for each parts that we will be needing for our render. So there is the folder for the accessories or props, basically anything or any object that you will be using aside from your sim. The sim folder, which is of course where we'll be putting the sim that we will be ripping later, the poses that we will be getting from SIMS4 Studio, and then the final one, which would I be explaining later. Okay, so step 1, the sim. So okay, I have here my sim ripper, which is I already loaded up in advance because it take me 5 minutes just for it to be able to load up a sim that I selected. So if it is your first time in using this software, make sure to select your save file first. I suggest opening up your game first and then load up the save file where you will be putting the sim that you will be rendering, and then save it so that when you locate the save file that you'll be needing, it would be at the most recent one. Okay, so this is my sim for today. Make sure that you chose the outfit correctly, and then check on clean the image. Make sure to tick this habit check. And then there are these options. I always pick the third one just to make sure that I'll be able to do the 3D lashes part correctly. And then save as DAE. It will take quite some time, but don't worry, just don't touch anything, even if it's not responding. Okay, there you go. Okay, remember this folder for sim? I'm gonna make a new folder just for the sake of showing what's going on. Okay, save. Wait for it. Okay, so once the saving dialog or phrase here is gone, it means that it's saved successfully. So now you can close down your sim repair. Next is getting our poses and props. So make sure to download your poses and props first before we go to SIMS4 Studio. So this is the pose that I'll be using. Credits to Mr. Analot. And yep, I already downloaded this one. And then this open book that, okay, made by Kiru. Okay, so this is SIMS4 Studio. Click on My Projects. Let's go export the poses first. So this is my pose. Okay, it shows the screen. Then go to this clip tab. Okay, so it should be able to show us a bigger thumbnail size. So pick your poses. I'll pick this one. Okay, this one. And don't forget to pick your rig. instance, Morgan. There. Hit adult male. And make sure that it's tick on this one at the blend file. Because if you tick on this one, this will just get the thumbnail. Okay. So click on this blend file and then export. Go to our folders once again. Poses. Let's create a new subfolder. Morgan pose. And then save. Exporting animation. The folder where it is saved will pop out, so you can confirm if it went successfully. Okay, shows up. Then it's time for us to get the book. So go to main menu, my projects again. Locate your accessory file or package file. In this case, this is mine. Okay, I thought it already crashed. Okay, what color would I be using? Oh, let's go with the brown one. Okay, so you'll have to export two things when it comes to objects in general. So you'll have to first export the texture. Let's go to the folder for props. Oh, I already have it here, but for saving sake, let's go texture. And don't forget to save it as PNG. There, it shows up like the poses earlier. And then next, go to this mesh tab and export the mesh as well. Book mesh. Save. Oh, if you're hearing dogs in the background, I'm sorry, it's currently 3 a.m. and the dogs here likes to just bark at any cat in the roadway. Okay, it's all done. And I guess that's it for now. Since this is only a tutorial, I won't be using so many elements, but that's the same process that you'll be using if you export more, such as furnitures or basically anything from SIMS4 Studio. Okay, now let's go to the actual part, the Blender. Okay, so now we're at my Blender viewport or my Blender workstation. So you'll be brought into this one. Okay, so just to make sure that everyone can follow the basic control for the most important control for Blender is the zoom, which is the mouse scroll. And if you want to move, press on the mouse scroll button or the mouse scroll at the center of your mouse. I don't know what it's called. Together with your shift key. There you go. If you want to rotate, there. If you want to rotate like this, just press on, hard press or long press on your mouse scroll. So again, for zoom, scroll, for rotate, hard press, and for moving is shift plus hard press on the mouse scroll. I hope I explained it correctly, because honestly it took me an hour before figuring out how to move around my workstation, which is pretty stupid, I know. Okay, so let's go and open up our post. So I remember the post that we got from SIMS4 Studio. Click on it, open, and there you go, the default rig. Okay, so next we will have to click on File, Import, and import default or DAE. Okay, then we go and locate our SIM. Okay, Morgan number DAE, and should show up. There you go. In case that your Blender doesn't show up your SIM with the color and texture and all, maybe it's just in another mode, so don't worry about it. Okay, so click on this drop down, this one with the 001. It's your sim. Click on the name of your sim or whatever you rename your file back in the Sim Reaper software, and click on this wrist icon, which is the modifier properties. And from this, it's your sim is currently attached to the default one, which is this T-posing thingy. Let's attach it to the pose. The pose is named rig, so attach it to the rig one. There you go. Of course, same goes with the glass file, which is basically the 3D lashes and whatever item that is your sim is wearing that has a transparent or sheen-like surface. Okay, let's go. You can now actually delete this there, and your sim will stay because it's already connected to something else. And then go ahead and delete this one. Delete, right click, delete, delete. I honestly can't use shortcut keys. I'm tech dumb. I'm sorry. Okay, so that should be it. Oh wait, no, we'll have to uh, connect or append our open book accessory. So go on File again, Append, go to your prop folder, grab that open book. Okay, this is the blend file that I told you to export earlier, the mesh. Click on the mesh, and then see this folders. Just go ahead and click on the object folder, and grab this and this, just to make sure. I always tend to grab the rig as well. If there are times that the mesh is in multiple parts, so you could just go ahead and grab them all, and you can just like choose which would you be keeping. You could just delete later. Okay, there you go, the book. Where's the book? Okay, so attaching any post accessory that is attached to the joint of the sim, you'll have to connect it as well on the post rig. So from the default one, click again on the rig, which is the name of the post, so that it would automatically attach itself to your sim that is attached to the post. Okay, so you could go ahead and delete this bone shape file. Okay, there you go. Then before I forget, um, the texture for any objects that you'll be importing aside from your sim, you'll have to do it manually. So this is how you add textures manually. Click on your accessory or object, go to material properties, and then go here, click on this, use nodes. See this base color part? Click on the circle, the yellow circle, go to image texture, and then open. Go to your pop folder, open book, and remember the texture file that I asked you to save. Go ahead and click it. Open image. Okay, so there you go. That should be it. So now save it and go to the final folder. So this is the use of my final folder. This is where I save the sim, the final form of the sim, before I make the background or the scene. Where will I be putting it? So Morgan post final. I don't know if my English makes sense, so please bear with me. Okay, so that should be it. Now go ahead and make a new file. Okay, so this is the cube. We will be using this cube to actually make the backdrop of our scene. So we could scale this by clicking on S and then drag your mouse outwards. You could also scale it in different ways. So we have in Blender we have the X, the Y, and the Z axis. So that means you have 3 ways on how to scale your object. So you could click on S again, and then let's try clicking X. So there, it thickens. Now go ahead and click Y. Oh, hold on. S, Y. Oh wait. Yeah, I'm dumb. There you go. There. Then if you're okay with the size of your cube, wait, one more. There you go. You can now go ahead and delete the parts of the cube that we don't be needing. So press tab on your keyboard, go to edit mode, and then click this third one, the face select icon. Okay, then click on these parts of the cube. You can choose if you want to keep the sides, if you want the light to bounce off or to bounce back to your sim. It actually depends on how you plan your scene. So yep, for this one I think I'd prefer to delete the sides as well. Then once you are done, whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, I'm being dumb again. Okay, there. You can go ahead and click on the delete on your keyboard and then delete faces. Okay, there. Next. Okay, so once we are done with scaling our cube, it's time to actually get our sim. So go back to object mode by pressing tab again, and then click on file, and then append as always, and then go to our final folder and our file, click on object once again, and click on the following. Remember those files that you actually used earlier? Click on those, which is your sim, the glass texture of your sim, the pose and the accessory. In my case, the book. So append, and there you go. It appears plain right now because I'm in a different shading mode. So, okay, carefully place your sim. Okay, I think, oh, okay. At this point of me creating renders, I don't delete this bone shape file anymore because this orange circle actually helps me as an indicator if my sim has successfully touched the ground or the ground of the cube. So there you go. And then, okay, let's get that color. Okay. Oopsie. Okay, we can hide the this joint points by clicking this eye icon there. Okay, so I'm probably in EV mode. Okay, so the difference between these two different kinds of render engines here in Blender is that EV consumes less processing power compared to Cycles, but Cycles produces more cinematic feel. So if you want your lighting to be more accurate and your sim look less shiny or less clayfied, I suggest you pick Cycles. Okay, so you could see that the lashes still have those black thingy because it's not yet transparent. So let us go ahead and make it pretty. So click on your glass file, which is in my case Morgan Ember and glass, and then see my cursor here, click on it and then drag to create a new window. Yeah, so in this smaller window, click on editor type, shader editor. Okay, so now we'll be able to see the nodes. You could actually see this here, but then for us to manually tweak the properties, we'll have to use the shader editor. Okay, there we go. Scroll down in this properties tab. Don't forget to change the blend mode from opaque to alpha hash so that we could see the changes. Okay, now go. You have this window by now. Go ahead and connect the color of the specular file to the specular. There you go. And then oops, let me enlarge this one, and then add mix shader, connect this or put it in between these two. There you go. Connect the alpha one to this one, and then this one, lower this down. Then finally add transparent BSDF, place it around here and connect the BSDF node to the middle one. Alright, so if you was able to connect it correctly, it should be transparent now. Yay! Ooh. I was so scared. that I might have missed step. Yeah, I'm dumb like that. Okay, so I also do it with my sim because I don't know, I just want to make sure that it would be less shiny as possible. I don't know if it has anything to be improved on, but yeah, there you go. Okay, did I use whatever? Okay, so that should be it. So now we have the final step, which is lighting, the part that I hate the most. Okay, so let's go to from this is where I am earlier, go to this one, the last one. This is what it actually looks like when rendered. Okay, so where's the light? Go ahead and bring that light down. Oop, so we could see it. There you go, Morgan. Okay, so when it comes to my lighting, I totally suck at it. I just uh, have to rely on my instinct because I can't go to cycles mode without my computer, without this computer about to be burnt. There, look, oof, yeah, but look at the difference between EV and cycles. Huge difference, right? It actually looks better in cycles, but looking better actually meant longer processing time or longer rendering time. In my case, my renders usually take around 15 to 30 minutes if I do it on cycles, and around 10 seconds in EV. So let's go back to EV so that I could actually navigate without my whole program lagging. So this is my light again. You could go ahead on object data properties, this light bulb icon, to tweak on the power of your light. So it's set on 1000, and believe me, it's too strong. And whenever I create my renders, I always use 200 at max and just adjust there. Again, I don't know how to use shortcut keys because I'm dumb. There you go. I feel like it's too okay. There. I could also add more lights. It depends on your preference or how you imagine it would look like. So I have here 4 kinds of light. Let me show you each one. So this default that we had whenever we start a new file is the point light. Then the next one is the sun, which is, I don't think you'll be able to see unless we go on cycle mode. 1 second. There. See this icon? You could drag it so that it could point on something. There. This the sun. You could also change the modes of your light here. Let me pick a color so that you could see. Oop, red. Let's go red. There. Oop, I'm sorry, it takes so long for me in cycles. There you go. Same goes, I think sun and spot has almost the same quality, but I guess sun is more wider and more intense. So you could experiment and whatever fits to your environment or scene. Next is the spot. Oh, I set it to there. For spot, it's actually a spotlight. Yeah, a spotlight. So then give me there. Let's go to EV. The computer can't handle cycles at the moment. There you go. It creates that spotlight. Tingo mo bob. There, feel free to rotate it. You could see exactly where the light is. So sometimes I prefer this one. You could change there. Yay, looks so good already. And the area, which covers the whole thing, I believe. Okay, so that should be it. So it's now time for me to create my lighting. Okay, so before I forget, while I'm doing my lighting, my crazy lighting story adventure, I suggest go to this world priorities button or tab and put the world light strength to 0 so that your light or your source of light would be whatever you put in the scene. There, you'll be able to freely control your light without worrying about other sources of lighting. There you go. Okay, so I think that's about it for me for the lighting. So let's go ahead and check it out at cycles. Bam! Most of the time I can't check it because my computer is lagging, so I tend to redo my renders for quite a lot of times. Smash F for me. Okay, so I think it looks good. This whole lighting is cute. Let me just go ahead and go back to EV. Adjust it more so that it looks directly coming from Morgan's hand. Okay, so the final part is positioning your camera. So the camera is the one that would dictate how much would you like to be rendered in your scene. So I have here the camera, the default camera, and positioning it. There. I sometimes do this before I do my lighting. And honestly, I think it's better if you do it before lighting so that you could see how it looks like close up. There. So to check the actual part, the actual view of your camera, just press on 0 on your keyboard. 0. There. It honestly looks good at this moment. Let me just place it more. Oh, it actually looks good. Morgan looks good. I don't have anything more to add. Okay, I think this is okay. So lighting take me around 30 to 40 minutes, sometimes an hour if there's more than one sim. I'm just that weird and undecided. I'm sorry. Okay, there. I think that's about it. Let's try it in cycles. Oh, it looks great. 1 second. Let's just change the intensity of this one. I think it's too powerful. You could also change the size by dragging this radio and the bounce. The bounce meant how many surfaces would the light be able to touch. The cast shadows is if you want the light to form shadows on the parts that it doesn't touch. Okay, so I think 30 is okay. Yeah, I think this is okay. And then let's make the color of the cube. Remember, you can also change the color of your cube. So since this is too light for my liking, I guess you could darken the whole scene. There. Ooh, it's coming together. There. In my case, whenever I use the plain cube, I go and put the specular to the lowest point possible so that the background doesn't look shining, because specular means the shine or the shine quality. And the roughness, of course, it's for the edges. I think this is goody. I think this is goody enough. Okay, so if you are now satisfied with how it looks like, let's now go ahead and set up our settings for the render. So I have here cycles mode, and then I use CPU because my graphic card or graphic driver, graphic card instead, is not that really great. So RIP to this CPU. I hope you don't die like my laptop. Then go in sampling, drop down, go to denoising, and there should be a box that is unchecked. Check that, and go to open image denoise. In case you don't have this option, I'll show you how it works on this other method that I've been using when I was still in Blender 2.8. So this should be rendering, so I'll be back afterwards. Okay, so my render is finally done. It took me 20 minutes because my OBS is running in the background, so yep, lucky SF. Okay, so I told you guys earlier about this other method that I used before in Blender 2.80 on how to denoise my renders, because if you don't denoise your renders, there would be this grains that would appear if you render using cycles mode. So go to this one, editor type, go to compositor, use nodes. Okay, so it would show this one. Add, click on add or shift A, filter, go to filter and then click on denoise, and then connect your images like this, as far as I know. Wait, yeah, I think this is it. Okay, so you could use it like this, and then from there go back to your image editor so you can see your render again. So that's about it. If there's any other questions, such as how to add wallpapers, how to add furnitures, or anything anything that is in my knowledge, feel free to message me in Tumblr or in Discord. I'll be leaving my Discord username and my post as well. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great day.